Thank you for joining us. Build your online profile, weeks free. The two topics we cover are create a resume and tips on signing accounts. Security Market Brokers brings you this 10-week program on WizIQ. Most of the products and services that you see here are free. For most people who are in the workplace, you probably have a resume. If you don't have one, go on the internet and find yourself any number of great templates that are available. The templates are for different industries, so you can use a resume that's suitable for you. So what we say basically is that if you haven't got a resume, create one. If you have got a resume, remodel it, refresh it, and for all the tips and advice we give you, we hope that you will certainly look at refreshing any documents and things that you have. So we cover a few things: a do and don't list, some theories on KISS, keep it simple, and some fact and fiction about your resume and the building of it. When we come on this page, you can see that we've got the topic there. It says tips for your first resume are the most important thing that you will learn if you use them from the beginning. And what we're trying to do is to get you to understand some fundamental things like creating folders, a system of folders for your projects, so that you can, when you do create content, it can be stored immediately, and then you can always find it. This is a big time saver. That you learn the value of, when you do create content, of saving it in various formats at that moment of creation. Certainly as many as the program allows you. You can open up other programs to extend these. And just different values that will really help you if you build the first layer of your profile and your resume and all of that on achieving really good content and looking after it as well. One of the first things that we say is to build a resume of any description is get all your documents together, collect your certificates, any other material that you might have to say what you've been doing, and these could be in the form of reports and certain things. Get them all together and scan them. And what we say is scan them at the best resolution that you can, scan them in color, and get them certified by JP, and then become a certified document. You can always scan them and just make a grayscale, low resolution image for the purposes of conveying information. But start building up all of your documents, your certificates, and any other backup material. And once you've got that, from those things you can build further content. When you file your scans, put them into a folder and mark them content or some such name that's identity for you. And then you need to go through all your documents and show them against any resumes you have or any profiles you have, and see what's missing, and build a list of any things that you need to replace. And that's something that you can start doing along the lines of what you're doing now. Obviously you can put them in a hierarchy of what's needed the most. Things like if you're going for a warehouse job and you've got a ticket for, say, forklift, Obviously you would want that, or some sort of proof, or something to help you use that as your skill that helps you. Now they need to have that certificate. They can't just take your word for it, so you have to produce it. Make sure it's current too. Make sure you've got everything's current, and make sure that any of the details, for example, some of the companies might have changed names. If you've got a reference, make sure they're still valid and still willing to give you as a reference. Just don't just make them up or hand them out. It's a very bad when someone calls you up about someone supposedly having worked for you, and you know them, but they've never worked for you, and you're sort of put in an odd position, and unless you're very good at acting, this could be embarrassing for everyone. So anyway, get all your documents together, because to build up a resume, you can build up a master file that says everything, that documents everything, what you've achieved, what you've done, where you've been. But that's not necessarily what you're going to show people. And then from that you create documents that reflect all the different things you want to do. For example, if you're volunteering, say you want to volunteer for SES, State Emergency Services, or one of the many non-profit organizations, those sorts of things. Go and have a look what they require, and then make up a resume that reflects what they're looking for. They don't need to know all the dishwashing jobs if you're going to be looking after children. You know, make a resume that's relative to the job, because they probably get hundreds of resumes, and if you're lucky enough to have yours read, then you know it needs to be really eye-catching, smart, quick, easy to read. All the links work. All the numbers are current. You know, all these things, and people appreciate that so much. You wouldn't get gold stars for nothing. They really appreciate it. And also, like when you've got all this content and you've scanned it and you've put it into folders, you can upload these to websites that host your files free, or you can get a premium account. The premium accounts obviously have more services attached to them. And then we also say build a chronicle list of your achievements, so that you can see what you've done on every level. You know, be it volunteering, working, training, schooling, anything what you're doing. Document it over your working life, and especially if you're retired, because the different things that you've done in your industry can be identified by someone such as yourself, because you've been there. You probably wrote the books, or at least the work that you did is the very work that's being detailed. So there's certainly no age where you can't put down and be very proud of your achievements. That's what I think. And do this on the fly. Do a chronicle list. You can come back and add details. You can verify the details as well later. And you know, from there, you've got yourself a nice base to build all of this on. And you'll be surprised what you can do with this content too. Simple Word documents become alive when you put them in a program such as this, like Brainshark and a few others. So get it all together. It's a lot of hard work. You can start it now. It's not something that you're going to do in 1 week. This could take months to complete, and it's probably an ongoing project. So, but do it, start it, and get as much as you can together in one place, and keep a hard copy. Keep two manuals of it, printed files of it, and you can do this in grayscale. You don't need to, make a beautiful $100 resume presentation. This is just merely for the collection of data. Although it would be nice to see your full color documents printed out, and make it a whole project that you're going to, add to as you go along. So this is what we're talking about here. It's never too soon to start, and that's got to be your motto from now on. Okay, do's and don't tips. Keep it simple. This is a motto that's been used in training over the decades. The do's are easy. Do make any different types of resumes that are suitable for different occasions. This is something that you've got to think about, that if you're applying for all these different types of jobs and positions, certainly it's not necessarily different types of jobs, but different types of resumes, in the sense that you might be wanting a grant, you might be wanting some sponsorship, you might be wanting any number of different things other than a direct job. Okay, we're assuming that you have a resume, that it's current, that you've checked it, that you know everything's up to date. We're thinking that we need to prompt you to refresh your resume with, especially as we're going online, to add media and different kinds of embedded things and hot links. So basically this is about tips on getting a fresh look for your resume. Okay, when you want to add different kinds of media, what do you get? When you have an online resume, you can do marvelous things with the material. You can create slideshows, video, jingles. You can create voice thread, brain shark presentations like this, GIF files, and more. There's a lot of things that you can do. This is just online. Virtually, you can do many, many other things. But we're just talking right now about creating basic building blocks for adding media. Now, the more images that, as we said, when you're creating the content, we think that if you create an image, you save it in as many formats as you can, and the same with audio. And the more you do that, you can then start mixing and matching them in the different programs that you use. Okay, your accounts. Just leaving the resumes alone for a moment. When you're opening up accounts, you have to really ascertain whether the website that you're signing up from is a valid program and suitable for your purposes. Now, if you're using something that's very well known and it's an industry standard, that's different. But on the internet, there's a lot of freebies and downloads and trials, and all kinds of things are being thrown at you and offered to you every minute through emails, advertising, sidebar links, all these things. They're all put there, they're all great, they all look fun. But you really need, when you're signing up accounts, to be aware of what you're doing, because at the very end of the story, you're responsible. So, this next slide will be talking about when you sign up for product,